As we reached the borders of Sara's homeland, autumn was already heavy upon us, and for most of the days, rain had become our constant companion as we traveled through the wilderness, trying to avoid being seen. According to Cat, we were now in the heart of the Queen's land. As our supplies dwindled, my thoughts went back to that day in the village, filling me with fear of what might happen if we needed to resupply once more before we reached our destination. If only the rain could wash those thoughts away, but the grey sky only filled me with sadness every time I lifted my head from the muddy ground we walked on. At least the clothes we got kept us warm and offered us some comfort against the night's chill. I put extra care into keeping them clean and in good order, remembering the price we'd paid to get them in the first place. And the heavy sword hanging from my belt reminded me of those events with every step I took, as it bounced against my leg as I walked. Cat insisted on training us as we traveled, and even though I understood her reasons, I dreaded it with all my heart, and I couldn't bring myself to land a blow on any of them. Kim didn't have such hesitations, and on many occasions I went to sleep covered in bruises her stick had left on my body, but I was too depleted to heal them. I tried to save the last bits of strength I had for the time when it would be really needed, as I didn't know what the upcoming days would bring. Kim had changed since that day, and I felt a deep shadow lingering over her heart, but I didn't dare to sing for her. What was the point of healing someone if I couldn't protect them from any future harm? Yet I shivered every time Cat taught her how to turn what had happened into a shield that would protect her from any future harm. It felt so wrong, but at the same time, I didn't dare to break the bond they'd formed with each other, as they had nothing to offer in its place. I was as useless as Sara believed me to be. Why had the forest wanted me to come with her? How could I protect the world from the flames that consumed my vision, if I couldn't even protect my friends? Silvi. Cat put her hand on my shoulder and sat down next to me, and I instinctively leaned into her, as I watched Kim try to keep our small fire burning, despite the rain and wet wood. Soon after, she joined us, bringing a steaming mug of pine needle tea that we shared. You know what to do? Cat looked at Kim and passed her the steaming mug. She took a sip and nodded slowly. It will be okay. We'll be back soon, Cat said, and took my hand in hers. I wished she would stay longer, but she got up and walked to Sara, who was sitting at the edge of our small camp. They exchanged a few words before she turned to us one last time. Keep her husband happy when we are gone. She laughed and pointed at the horse, and I watched them with rising dread as they disappeared into the woods. They had decided to enter Sara's homeland alone and leave us behind in a well-hidden camp at its border. It was rare that they both agreed on something, so maybe it was for the best that I stayed, considering how much of a burden I would be to them. Yet seeing them go filled me with fear as I peered into the dusk, hoping that they somehow would change their minds and come back, even though I knew it would not happen. What if they never came back? I shivered, and Kim moved closer and passed me the mug, but the tea had already turned cold. Don't worry, Silvi, I will look after you. I tried to smile, but my heart froze as she began to tell me about the way to the north that she would take us if we needed to flee. As the night slowly fell, we huddled together under the blanket. With the others gone, we didn't dare to keep the fire burning, not knowing who it might attract. Suddenly, I felt something in the forest. Kim, I whispered. Someone is there. She froze and reached for her dagger. Get a horse. Leave everything behind, she whispered back, crouching with a dagger in her hand. I felt her fear pulsating in the air, trying to force its way into my heart. I froze, unable to move. Silvi. She looked at me, and I shivered under her cold gaze when the crack of a snapped branch pierced the air. She froze, peering into the dark forest. Get your sword. She moved in front of me, trying to shield me from whatever lurked in the darkness, and I felt a wave of fear emanating from the forest. Before I could do anything, a hooded figure stepped out from the woods, and Kim sprinted towards it with her dagger. A scream pierced the air, mixed with a flood of fear, as the figure stepped back. Please don't hurt me. I need to warn Sara before it's too late.